All right, Unit 5, Lesson 9, the application section. So again, the guidelines one more time. Read the problem carefully as being asked. Introduce a variable that represents what you're trying to find. Write the algebraic equation. Remember, expect it to be a rational equation, so fractional. And then solve it, and then make sure that your solution makes sense. All right, so they kind of use a DST here for distance, speed, time in terms of how to visualize what you're solving for. And that fraction is kind of what creates a lot of our equations here. This is the chart you're going to kind of get used to drawing. Okay, you're going to get used to drawing distance, speed, time charts. Okay, and organize them just like this. So let's go ahead and go through this question, and we're going to fill in the boxes. Competing in an endurance race, Shannon cycled for 120 kilometers, then swam for 12 kilometers. Her average cycling speed was 8 times faster than her average swimming speed. Shannon took 9 hours to complete the race. Okay, if her average swimming speed S, use the information to complete the table. So they said they're calling, excuse me, they set swimming speed as the variable of S. So we're comparing everything to swimming speed. Okay, what do we know about swimming speed to running speed or cycling speed? 8 times faster than what goes in this box. 8s, because the speed of cycling is 8s. Okay, what else do we know? We do know the distance. How far does she cycle? 120. How far does she swim? 12. So we have these. Now, distance divided by speed is going to give you time. Okay, so time is always the distance over speed. So we're going to say 120 over 8s, 12 over s. There's your rational functions. Yeah.
120 over 8s.
You could. I'd leave it like that just for now, just because that's our actual values. But yes, you could pull a 2 out of there for sure. Okay, good question. Okay, any questions about building that table? Okay, so they gave us everything, right? The only thing we had to do was time is distance divided by speed. It does, and we're going to do something with that in a second. Because great job, Damon. So he said, doesn't it give you time, the 9 hours? It gives you the time, but the time is for the what? The total race. So he just answered it. We know the time for cycling, the time for swimming should add up and equal to 9. That's the setup. That's the comprehension. You guys get that? So the whole race is a combination of cycling and swimming, and so you were going to set it up as 120 over 8s plus 12s equals 9. That's your rational equation setup. Okay? And so now we're going to solve. And so what we're going to do is we're going to times everything by 8s. Because if I times everything by 8s, all of my fractions go away. Wow, that's a really terrible 8. Do you guys see that? Because 8s cancels this 8s. 8s, the s's cancel, but I have to go 8 times 12, and so my fractions are gone. So now you have 120 plus 8 times 12 is 96 equals 72s. Okay, can we see that? And so then when we go one step further, it's going to be 216 equals 72s. Divide by 72, divide by 72, 3 is s. And let's talk about what that means.
Why is it 72s?
8 times 9.
Oh.
Okay, so what is 3? So 3 is the answer, but we have to also identify what's the label here. 3 what? No. Wait, 3 what? 3 kilometers per hour. Sorry, I thought I heard just hours. It's 3 kilometers per hour. That's the speed, right? So it's going 3 kilometers an hour. Okay, good. So 3 kilometers an hour. Does that make sense? Swimming 3 kilometers an hour. Yeah, that makes sense. And then if you're going, the cycling speed is 24 kilometers an hour. Seems reasonable. Okay, it's not too fast or too slow. Okay, so that's your answer. Any questions? We just got one more. Good? All right, here we go. Let's look at this one. I like this one, actually. I think it's the train one, right? Okay, so St. Andre Students' Council is traveling from Knoxtown to Harperville for the Students' Council National Conference. From the travel budget allowed for the trip, the St. Andre Students' Council has two options. They can leave tonight by bus, or they can save 3 hours by leaving tomorrow by using an express train, which travels 25 kilometers an hour faster than the bus. If the distance between Knoxtown and Harperville is 1,500 kilometers, determine how long it would take to travel by express train. Okay, so trying to figure out how long it would take, so we're figuring out the time for the express train compared to the time for the bus. Okay, so we're going to make our distance speed chart, so make your own here. So just, doesn't have to be perfectly square, it's fine. Sorry, do one more box. Okay, so we got our distance, speed, time. We have express train and bus. So we'll say bus and train. Okay. So the confusing part maybe on this one is how to set up the equation, but let's put the information in first. What's the distance?
1,500.
Right, and it's 1,500 for both, right? Both objects are going the same distance. That's important. 1,500. Okay, what do we know about the speed?
Train goes 25.
Right, so train's 25 faster, so let's call S for bus, and train is S plus 25. It's plus 25, not times, right? Because it's 25 miles an hour faster. Okay? And so we're ready for this now. It's 1,500 over S and 1,500 over S plus 25. Okay, so we have our chart filled out. A lot of people are really good at this part. What's the equation? Yeah. Good. What would be subtract? Give me in simple terms. You have to say that. Tell me in terms of bus and train.
Would it be train subtracted by bus?
Close. Bus by train, right? So what does it equal, though?
Train equals 3 hours.
3 hours, correct. Okay, so Justin's got it. We know that one gets there faster than the other. And the one that's slower takes more time, right? And so it's bus minus train equals 3 hours. Because the bus is slower, so the bus might take 10 hours. The train takes 7 then. 10 minus 7 is that 3. And so that's how we're setting it up. Does that make sense? Okay, bus minus train equals 3 hours. Where's the 3 hours come from? It says right here they could save 3 hours. Where does it say? Right here. Can save 3 hours by leaving tomorrow morning using the express train. Okay? All right, so let's set it up. So that means these are the times, right? We're talking about time. So it's going to be bus 1,500 over S minus 1,500 over S plus 25 is 3. So we're going to have a quadratic on this one. That's okay. So we're times everything by S times S plus 25, right? All of them. All right for all of them, even though you guys are probably used to the pattern, but the S is gone. S plus 25 is gone. So I have 1,500 times S plus 25 minus 1,500 S equals 3S times S plus 25. I know my S's and 5s are pretty close, but. Okay, so you're going to have on the left side 1,500 S plus 25 times 1,500 is 37,500. So you kind of see here, cancel. You got two 1,500 S's on this side. Equals 3S squared plus 75S. I'm going to minus that 37,500 over. So that's equal to 0 now. just so you guys see that I canceled it. 75s minus the 37,500. Here's the equation that we're solving now. We're solving that quadratic equation for 0. Okay, so let me walk you through what I did here. I did a little simplifying kind of fast. 1,500s, 1,500 times 2,500 is 37,500. I have a positive 1,500s and a negative, so those go away. I moved the 37,500 to the right, kept my quadratic over there, because my 3s squared is positive. Okay, so this is one where, guys, I don't expect you to know your factors of 37,500. Okay, so yes, you can take out a 3 and it makes it a little bit better, but you're still going to be in the 1,000s, right? So this might be one that you put in your calculator and find one of the zeros to help you find the other one. Okay, and just find the zeros so you get those factors to see if it goes out smoothly. Okay, so when you do that, you're going to get, and like Chris said, you can pull a 3 out. If you pull a 3 out, it gets a little bit nicer. It gets to s squared plus 25s minus 12,500. Okay, and that factors to s plus 125 and s minus 100. So what are my answers? Negative 125 and 100. But what do we do with negative 125? We reject it because we're talking about speed. My speed can't be negative. Yeah, Evan? 75s, yeah. 3s times s, 3s times 25. So 3s times 25 is 75s. Yeah. Good question. Okay? Okay, so, and the reason being is because s is 100. You guys just figure out what s is. That is the bus speed. The train speed is going to be 125. That's where the 125 comes from. Okay, but the question says, yeah, so how long will it take to travel by express train? So we know the train is 125 speed. We're trying to figure out how long it takes the train to get there. How do we do that? Right, we're simply just doing this equation. 1,500 divided by 125. Okay, so 1,500, the time for the train will be 1,500 divided by 100 plus 25. I'm just writing it so you see the formula here. You know it's 125. Okay? And when you do that, 1,500 divided by 125, you get 12 hours. So if it takes the express train 12 hours, we know it takes the bus how long? 15 hours. The bus is 3 hours slower. Okay? All right, and that's it for that.